Love triangles are one of the oldest tropes in TV and film, and the Vampire Diaries might be one of the best examples of how to do it right, at least for a while. It's the emotional tension, the push and pull between desire and loyalty, that makes the story so addictive. But even the best love triangles can only carry a show so far. Before we get into it, this is an analysis of the Vampire Diaries TV show, not the novels. I haven't read all of them. And while I do like Elena as a character, this video focuses on some of her not so great choices throughout the series. Oh, and spoilers ahead. When you root for two characters to finally get together, what you often love most isn't the relationship itself, it's the build-up, the tension, the longing, the will they or won't they moments. That's exactly how I felt watching Damon and Elena. I was a die-hard Delena fan. I wanted them to be together. I wanted Elena to switch brothers. But when it finally happened, I kind of regretted my wish. Elena is the center of the love triangle partly because of her doppelganger face. Catherine was once that center, but lost it due to her manipulative nature. Elena did not manipulate the Salvatore brothers. She was a moral character and saw the good in people. She faced her fears and was even willing to die for the ones that she loved. Both brothers were drawn to Elena's goodness and sincerity. Nina Dobrev played Elena with such emotional depth, it made sense why both Salvatore brothers were obsessed with her. And then there's Damon, easily one of the most charismatic characters on the show. Ian Somerhalder played him perfectly. The smirk, the sharp delivery, the subtle eye movements that said more than words ever could. Damon had this undeniable passion for Elena. He desired her. He fought for her. At first he tried to hide it, but eventually he stopped caring about betraying his brother. Damon was unpredictable, a wild card, reckless and fun, but beneath that he cared deeply. One of the first times we truly saw Damon's walls come down was when he had to kill Rose. He was visibly devastated, which he tried to hide, but not from Elena. She saw through him. Then there's Stefan. Honestly, Paul Wesley doesn't get nearly enough credit for what he brought to that role. Stefan was calm, compassionate, kind, the perfect contrast to Damon's chaos. Stefan's love felt real. There was no sire bond, no compulsion, it just happened naturally. Her likeness to Catherine was the reason he noticed her in the first place. Still, the relationship moved forward despite that origin. Stefan and Elena grew beyond it. They were on again, off again, torn apart by Catherine's manipulation, Klaus's obsession, and Elena's constant danger from being involved with a vampire. But when Elena became a vampire, everything changed. She wasn't the same girl Stefan fell in love with. She was different and wanted someone different. When Elena died with Damon's blood in her system, it created a sire bond, because she had feelings for him before she turned. Her transition tied her to him emotionally. She wanted to please him, to believe him. Damon told her she needed warm blood from the vein. She couldn't drink from a blood bag. She couldn't drink animal blood. But the moment Damon suggested she try a blood bag, she could. That's how powerful the sire bond was. This caused real tension between the brothers.
Said she had to drink warm human blood straight from the vein.
Was Elena's love for Damon genuine, or just a byproduct of that supernatural connection? Elena swore she truly loved him, and in the end it turned out to be true. The sire bond was broken eventually, and Damon and Elena were together for real, but that doesn't mean the relationship worked well on screen. Once Damon and Elena finally got together, I felt like the spark was gone. The tension that made their dynamic so fun to watch disappeared, and Elena's character started to feel less compelling. Damon, too, lost some of his edge. He was not boring, but not as exciting as he was in the earlier seasons when he was off the rails. He does go back to being a little bit of a bad boy after Elena gets stored in a coffin, but Damon was not the same as the first few seasons of the Vampire Diaries. Elena changed him. Don't get me wrong, I wanted them to get together, but once they did, something just didn't click. The love triangle had driven so much of the show's energy, and without it, that fire faded. Both Elena and Damon's characters changed the moment they became a couple. Elena used to feel more loyal, grounded, and yes, a little self-righteous. It was part of her charm, honestly. She had strong convictions and wasn't afraid to stand by them, but when she left Stefan for his brother, that same self-righteousness suddenly felt out of place, even hypocritical. I rooted for Damon and Elena together for 3 whole seasons. When they kissed in season 3, episode 19, Heart of Darkness, I was cheering. I was like, yes, get it, girl. Damon is hotter. He's better for you, Elena. I was so happy because she initiated that kiss. Elena charged at Damon, and that Florence and the Machine song that played was so perfect. The Vampire Diaries really knew how to place pop songs at the right moments. Then they get together in season 4, and even knowing about the Sire bond, I still felt that sting, that sense of betrayal towards Stefan. It was a low blow. Stefan had been mostly good to her, loyal to a fault. Stefan was such a good guy. I will not take his Ripper side into account because the Vampire Diaries normalized death of random extras, side characters, and supporting characters. Stefan was good, mostly. He did go a little off the rails in season 3, after he shut off his humanity, but he was forced to do that. The faults in Stefan with Elena could all be traced back to vampirism. The faults in Damon with Elena can be traced back to vampirism with the Sire bond. The Sire bond broke. Elena even became human again, and she was still with Damon. And Stefan died. This show made me feel so bad for Stefan. He didn't deserve to get betrayed and killed. Would Damon and Elena have ended up together without the Sire bond? Honestly, probably not, or at least not that soon. Elena definitely had feelings for Damon when she was human. The initiated kiss toward the end of season 3 was proof, but she never pursued a real relationship with him until after she became a vampire. As a human, Elena had more self-control. Stefan was her first love, the love that shaped her, the one that molded who she was. Yes, she dated Matt before, but it was clear that she never loved him, or never loved him the way she loved Stefan. Her calm reaction to Matt and Caroline's relationship said everything. Elena never wanted to be a vampire. She lived in the moment, loving Stefan for who he was, not for the immortal life he represented. When she found out he was a vampire, she ran. She was cautious, but in the end, she loved him despite that. Once the love triangle ended, the show just didn't feel the same. It wasn't as exciting for me anymore. The focus shifted, new characters appeared, new plots unfolded, and while some of those stories were good, the central tension that held the series together was gone. The originals left for their own show, new faces like Kai and the Witch twins appeared. It wasn't bad, just different. The show began as a story about two brothers in love with a girl who looked like their ex, and when that part ended, the tone of the Vampire Diaries changed completely. Elena might have been frustrating at times, but she was the center of it all. The Vampire Diaries love triangle worked because it gave us something to root for. Passion, heartbreak, loyalty. But once it was resolved, the emotional heartbeat of the show faded. And maybe that's the thing about love triangles. They're never really about who ends up with who, they're about the journey to get there. I rooted for Delena to happen. Then it happened, and I was underwhelmed and disappointed in both of them. It made me feel so bad for Stefan. He was betrayed by his girlfriend and his brother. There was a moment when Elena could have chosen Damon, and it would not have been a betrayal. In season 3, she and Stefan were broken up. Even Stefan and Damon had come to terms with the fact that Elena was eventually going to have to make a choice between one of them or neither, and both seemed ready to accept it. But then Elena chose Stefan, only to turn around and go for Damon. And that's when I remember thinking, girl, what are you doing? Like, no, you made your choice, stick with it, because now it just looks like you're playing both brothers. And honestly, I didn't even care that there was a Sire bond involved. The whole switch from Stefan to Damon never sat right with me, even though deep down I wanted her to pick Damon. It's one of those classic be careful what you wish for situations. That was also the point where I started to look at Elena differently. Everything changed once she became a vampire. She was just better as a human, more centered, more herself. As a vampire, it felt like she lost that core part of her that made her her. I tried not to be too harsh on Elena during this video because I actually like Elena as a character, especially in the first few seasons. It's those later seasons after she becomes a vampire that I think she became a little annoying, but I don't hate her for it. I think Elena is quite tragic with her doppelganger face. What are your thoughts? Did you like it when Damon and Elena got together? Did you prefer Elena with Stefan? Or did you hate the love triangle altogether? That is all for this video. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.